Hey Marvel Strike Force, I wanted to come in here today and talk about Overpower a little bit more. We got some clarification from the devs on how some things worked, and it's even worse than we thought. And I'm sure everyone is going to feel this in some way, shape, or form. Let's go look at the ranks real quick again, and here are the ranks where it talks about Overpower, and most characters, I'm guessing, are somewhere in between here. We'll go somewhere between rank 4 and 10. Um, that's where I would put most people right now. Now, what happens if your character's is 8 level is G18 but is also 105? You can be G18 and 105 at the same time. Are you rank 10 or are you rank 5? Um, the answer is you can be it is the lowest possible. So if you're G18, if you have everything qualified up to 10, it doesn't care because you don't have rank 5s complete. So it is even worse than we thought. Now, it doesn't matter if you took a character 105. It doesn't matter if you put purple ice on. It doesn't matter if G19 would be the exception. That would be the one you're missing. Um, so that maybe you're and if you're rank 18, so that'd be your 5. It's bad. It's bad, guys. Or you could be like, I've got a G19 character, but it's still level 100. So you could be rank 7 and have purple ISO on it, and it wouldn't count that. Um, and that's what you're going to be going against. Let's go look at some of my characters that I actively use right now and where that actually pertains. And we'll go look at my war and take a look at some of that. So we have Echo here. She's G19, but she's 103. She's purple ISO 2, so technically she'd be down a level. Some ones that I actively use every Crucible. Cosmo, who's 98, who's a supporting cast member, and does his job without needing more levels, is another one. What's some more? I've got New Avengers, who I do use every war, but they don't because of what they match into, they don't really need more stats. As you can see, I have the two main characters, G19 level 100, but I'm using Ronin at level 80 and I'm using Thing at 85 because of what they do. Because I normally take them into infestation, and Thing's first ability has 2,000% extra focus. I don't need him bigger, but all of a sudden these guys taking 50% more damage, like they're probably just dead, and they're not the only ones. All of a sudden, things like this, where we need carbidadium or whatever the hell it's called, crimson, yeah, carbonadium, it doesn't matter. Like, all of a sudden, all this stuff becomes so much more important because if we don't have G19, we are stuck at rank 8. It doesn't matter if we take them to 105. It doesn't matter if we give them purple ISO 3 because the first thing you have to meet is being G19. Um, so all of a sudden, red uniques are so much more valuable. And I think that's something we have to start thinking about. If all of a sudden all of these things start playing into effect, let's go look at my war and some of the people that have attacked and look at the stuff they've used. I think that's a great example of what's going on. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't flip over. Um, but yeah, people like, Tigra, who still need pieces. Um, I can't even level her because, it just doesn't work. We have, she doesn't have enough pieces to even level if she wanted to. So all of a sudden, uniques become so much more valuable. That characters may just fall by the wayside. Let's go look at my war right now, and we'll go look at some of the characters people have used. And a lot of them, you're gonna see that some of their middle bottom roster is still 18. They're still level 100. They're still purple or blue ISO, and I think that's a good thing to look at. Like, I'm not. You look at me. I used New Avengers here, down here at the bottom. I have a level 100 Deadpool. I have some level 100s in S6. Like, all of these would be down a level right now. 102 Quicksilver, like I have a bunch of characters. One of 100 Moon Knight, level 100 Agatha. All of that plays into effect, and I used them this morning, and they all did their role. Let's click on somebody else. This guy's way built up. Let's see. He used multiple G18 characters. He's used level 100 characters. More level 100 characters. These are all considered active, great characters that are built, and we're considering them in the overpowered state. That's crazy. Let's click on this guy. Look at how many G18 characters he used, how many level 100s he used. I don't know why Green Goblin doesn't show level, but we'll not worry about that. 103s, like, crazy. Half these characters would all be in the overpowered state. Let's click on this guy. Oh my, he's got all kinds of teal characters he used. These are all considered in the overpowered state. This is going to be terrible. Let's click on this guy. Oh my, he used a level 60 character. I mean, these are all considered in the overpowered state. Like, the middle of your roster is going to be miserable. Let's click on this guy. Oh look, this guy used level 85 characters, level 100 characters, more level 100 characters. I can't tell they're purple or blue ISO, but we'll just assume that not all of them are. Let's look at this guy, more teal characters. Like, oh my! This guy hasn't attacked yet, so I don't know why I'm clicking on him. Let's look at this guy who's done 13 attacks. He's done 13 attacks and 12 of them were successful. Like, let's look and see what he used. We've got more teal characters. We've got an orange character. We've got more teal characters. Level 100 characters. You know, it's crazy. Like, how are we supposed to maintain this kind of roster for 12 attacks in war and get everybody to 105 and purple ISO, be G19 at least? Like, you're seeing meta characters across the board still G18 in these people's attacks. And every single one of them would be considered overpowered state. Is that an instant loss? Like, what is that? I think that, and so then my next point to this is we need to start thinking about where our G19 uniques are going. I was sitting pretty good with this stuff, and you know, I've got 130 in that piece. Let's look at some more. I've got 97 in that piece. Like, I only have enough for like 2 or 3 characters in these pieces. 79 in that one. 99 in that one. Like, as you saw, I was missing the one for Tigra. 116 in this one. 94 in this one. I'm sitting pretty good. I still have enough to upgrade a full character, maybe a bit more. 112 in that one, but you know, we're starting to get to the point where we're going to be running low on this. You know, in some cases people are getting even less from the raid because we changed raid difficulties and raids. We are seeing things like the battle pass where they cut the training mats in gold by 50%, which is crazy. And you know, 250-50, this was double that. You know, same thing here. This was double. This was double. This used to be 11 million gold, now it's 5. Like, they've cut all this. This used to be 11 pieces and they moved it all over the place. Like, they're not doing good things for us, guys. I hate to say it, but they're not. I don't know what they're doing. There's still piles and piles of crap in here. No one cares about teal gear. How many piles? 62,000. How many thousands do we need? 320,000 G18 orbs. I haven't even clicked on opening. Like, it doesn't even matter. And I opened them because they have 1,000 gold in them. Like, all of that stuff's junk. You know, 335,000. How many characters is that I'm over right now? I don't even think there's enough characters in the game. You know, it's crazy. You know, let's click on a skill piece. 18,000. I don't even think there's enough characters in the game to even upgrade that many. 29,000 of that stuff. Like, This stuff's junk. Um, so unless Scopely gets real with what they're giving us, this game's about to get real stingy. And my point to that is we're about to not care about teams. We're about to not care about our mid resources. We're about to be very stingy on what we upgrade. And if you're not playing that way, I think you're going to be making a big mistake. And as far as that goes, characters like Black Cat become very relevant in the game again because she gains if she's playing in an overpowered state, her damage goes up 50%, her focus goes up 50%, and she lands stuff and does things before everyone else that gets to interact. And things like that are going to determine this game. That is the state we are moving into. She might be even a G20 character for me. That's what I think this game is moving towards. That's kind of how crazy the overpower system is, how imbalanced it is, how it messes up how the game functions, and things like Vigilante are dead. Don't even consider it. This team is garbage. It has no chance of ever having a chance in this game. It's not in the top 10 for as far as characters goes, and it's not where I'm spending my resources. And the state of how I'm spending my resources is that character needs to carry. And that's kind of how I'm looking at the game going forward. I love to hear how you guys are looking at the game. One thing I am thinking about doing with this is I am super stacked on gold. I know not everybody is, so I'm starting to buy these uniques again at 800k a pop. I'm not buying any uniques in here. I think it's too expensive, but I am buying G20 pieces. I'm looking at characters that can carry for G20. The more characters I can get that are G20 capable that can carry are going to be able to carry both in War and Crucible, Arena. Those are going to be the ways that we maintain our resources. And as far as like mid-tier characters, they're essentially dead. They're not going to be able to punch up. Their matchups that are available to them are severely limited because of the whole G20 requirement, or even if it's not G20 requirement, we go back and look at this graph. They need to at least be 105 purple ISO 3 G19. Like that's where we're at mostly in this game right now. There might be one or I've seen up to like 20 people that have like the rank 11 requirement on their top tier of their roster. But if it's like middle tier, like rank 10 is like ideal. And as you saw, there's lots of stuff in our roster that doesn't even meet the requirement of rank 10. And it maybe doesn't meet the requirement of rank 9. Like, a lot of people are at rank 8. A lot of us still use stuff at rank 5 through 7. So, that's wild to think about that and how limited our resources are and how much it's going to make our mid-tier teams feel bad. So, start thinking about hoarding, guys. Stop accepting that, when we release teams like Vigilante and Starjammers, that it's acceptable, because it's not. The Vigilante and Starjammers are not good enough. Teams like that, like Mighty Avengers, it's time for them to go. Vigilante's not good enough. Starjammer's not good enough. Mighty Avengers not good enough. Immortal is the exception. I just put 3 diamonds on Jean. She's awesome. But even like my Jean, she's level 100. She's technically an overpower level down at 1,000,000 attack and damage and fully upgraded. Like, that's crazy. And I don't have a whole lot of training materials. I have enough to do like 2 characters to 105 right now. So, start hoarding, guys. Overpower's a system where we don't spend on anything unless it's a top tier character. And if you're looking at the game any different, it's not the way to play. Let me know what you guys think. Is that how you guys are going to be playing the game? Because that's what I'm thinking about going forward.